Oh, boogers. Dude, that's into the abyss. Good morning, everybody. Early afternoon. Yeah, early afternoon. It's 3:05. Guys, we are on another adventure today. I got my best dude, Spargo, with me. My other best dude, Dom, is right in the E46. He is coming out today because there's a couple reasons he's came out and visited us today. Look at that beautiful E36. I'll tell you what. So I'm not a big BMW fan, but the reality is I like E36s. Everything about 90s BMWs, they were cool. All of them. They were all cool. 3 Series, 5 Series, 7 Series. They were all freaking awesome. Very mechanical, very dumb, but very good cars. Today, we got to get the Mazda out. I need to send back the pump that we got from Autohaus for Dom's E30, not his E36, for Dom's Volkswagen, which is another reason he's out today, is to give me Cinco Dineros, which is always a positive because then we can buy more parts because we need to buy fuel injectors for the TDI. I haven't forgotten about tearing them apart and I haven't forgotten about like taking them apart or any of that stuff. Just here, I'm not even gonna take them out until we're prepared to put them back in, type of thing. But that said, we did get the tool finally. So I had to order a different type of injector puller kit, got it off Amazon. It was because I needed some adapters. What I found out was, and here, I'll go into this more. Matter of fact, as soon as we get to the farm, we'll go ahead and open that box. But for now, I'm gonna stop vlogging and driving, stop doing, I still think this might be hyper illegal. You know what? No one's commented to tell me otherwise. I've never been gotten in trouble for it. And well, frankly, I see it a lot everywhere else. So it is what it is. Maybe one day somebody's gonna make a law for it. LOL. They make laws for everything else, so why not, right? Anyway, we're almost to the farm, so I'll be right back. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Oh, it's becoming a brisk one. Just yesterday, it was like 70 degrees out here. Now it's starting to snow. They say we're getting a blizzard from South Dakota, but who knows? Chase, if you're watching this, you can have your weather back. I do not want it. I'm ready for that Florida weather. Today we got a couple things on the agenda. First, the garage is freaking in chaos. That's problem number one. Problem number two is that this freaking Mazda's in our way. And the third thing that we got to do today, well, see if we can get Dom's E36 emissions friendly. So we're gonna get our minds around a couple things. I gotta mic the crank on this and be right back. I'll check in a second. Put my hand over the camera. I don't know. I'm gonna do one of those things and the video is just gonna keep recording. All right, fire's going, sort of cleaned up. Here's the thing. So essentially what's going on is the Mazda needs a rotating short block. The heads are okay. 5 out of the 6 pistons are, sorry, 6 pistons are okay. 5 out of the 6 rods are okay. 1 crank rod journal bearing, the crank is a bit fudged up. Where I'm at right now here in Missouri, in like the O'Fallon, Wentzville, St. Charles, Greater St. Charles, St. Louis area, there's really no shops that specialize in long block rebuilds, sorry, short block rebuilding or crank repair work. And that's what we need. Some of you might be like, oh, well, hey, just go buy another engine, you know, they're cheap. Wrong. These engines range between $2,500 and $5,000. And the whole time I'm still buying possibly somebody else's headache. So I don't know. I mean, I can literally put the engine in, fire it up, and it go rattle, rattle, thunder, crackle. Doing it this way, or at least going down the path of, hey, how much does an engine cost versus how much it costs to repair this one? It's a cost that we need to consider. And the first step to considering that after talking to the machine shop is we got to measure the crank and see how much damage has been done. The idea here basically is we're gonna measure the crank journal, whatever this bit right here is called. We're gonna measure across it and compare it to the stock. The machine shop is gonna compare it to the stock bearing size. We're gonna try to figure out if we're like 10,000s or 20,000s, how much of the crank is actually destroyed. Because ultimately the rod doing one of these against it obviously didn't help it at all. So in order to measure this thing, I gotta make sure my dial gauge is at 0, my calipers are at 0. I'm gonna get this guy around there like that. Gonna give it a little one of these, and then I'm gonna just tighten that up, and there's our size. All right, so it looks like we're at, all right, so it looks like the crank is at 217. So basically what that tells me is 0, because I don't know what the factory bearing is for this car. I don't know what the tolerances are. I don't know what the measurements are. I don't know any of it. We could find it out, and that, be honest, it's not something I'm gonna do. This is one of those moments where this engine is not an engine I work with every day. If it was one of those, yo, I got you covered. This thing, I don't. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take these measurements, I'm gonna send them off to the guys over at Precision Machine Shop out in Jefferson City, Missouri, and then they're gonna get back with me and tell me, hey, your crank's toast, or yeah, rip that motor out, bring it to us. We should be within tolerance, and we can machine everything up. Anyway, we got our measurement. Let's get this hunk of shit outside and get his hunk of shit inside. You ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Problem number 1 already found, and all we've done is open the hood. Dom, that right there's a problem.
So
The
light wasn't working yesterday, so
Yeah.
I just grabbed the wires and shook the absolute hell out of them. And then the light started working again.
Nice.
But I did move around.
Well, the problem with the airbox is the fact that there's no bracket holding the filter up, so that's just gonna keep falling. So we need a bracket of some sort for that, and we're gonna smoke his car. Car says we got a giant evap leak, and let's just see what the car's thinking, because it's got to check engine light right now, right? All right, let's do that. I was just telling him there is a bracket.
Just food for thought.
Yeah, just, you know, I bet you could find some aluminum back there. There's a bandsaw back there. There's a drill back there. You could probably make a bracket in about 5 minutes.
We got enough stuff here to do it?
I might have some junk.
Yeah.
I might have some junk. So Dom's car is old enough that it's wanting us to go in with the BM1B. This is one of those great things about having a Veris. Yes, it's cracked screen. I got it on an old monitor, but quick backstory. So this thing is AKA 10K. 10K is called 10K because it costs 10K, obviously. And that's because we got bins of ways to connect to things. Do you remember the other day when we were talking about like generations of diagnostic equipment?
Right.
So for all of you who don't know this out there, OBD stands for onboard diagnostics. It does not stand for, hey, bring that back here, I'm not done with you. Stand for plug that into something like that. What it is OBD2 is the second generation of OBD. OBD originally was a whole bunch of weird random connections like this, all over this. All right, so back in the day, you would have all these different types of ways to communicate. In some cars even, like I think this one's for a Honda, maybe, you had like chips that you had to put into slots just to communicate, or you had to plug into certain pins on the ECU. You would also have, like, you'd have pins that you could plug into ports and stuff. Like, there was all these, my point here is there was no like industry standard until OBD2 came around, which is what you have. That is modern day connection. I say this because there's also different generations of OBD2. There's OBD2A, B, C, D. I think we might be on E, maybe only D. But essentially the differences between each one of them, the amount of sensors that's on the engine, how smart the engine computer is, and how many different systems that the engine management needs to communicate with the car so we can drive it. And that's really all it is. But luckily for us, his is old as shit, and this is all we gotta do. We gotta, I think it's this port right here. We pop that off there. That goes on there like that. Boom. Oh, I never did that. All right. No. We need this thing still. Okay. We need this thing still. Okay. Movie map. All right, there we go. So now we got that thing plugged in, got that thing there. Now we can go over here, click yes on our broken screen. You know, sometimes having old technology is like the best thing in the world. I'm just being real. All right, so you got a fault lamp. You have a tank leak detected, major leak, tank venting, extraction fault, cat efficiency. You got a cat, don't you?
I think so.
Okay, good.
Sure.
Vehicle speed sensor, a bad O2 before cat. Basically, yeah, you got a bad O2 upstream. In here, all right, for the record, I'm not diagnosing based on codes, but when you got, it kind of adds up, all right? A mass air sensor. Well, we already fixed the mass air sensor. The things we're wanting to attack is this vehicle speed sensor, the tank vents, the EVAP problem. And the only reason that I care more about those is because as soon as we open the hood, the Maf sensor was disconnected. The Maf interacts with the O2 sensors, so there's easily these could just be correlation things. So we definitely don't want to just go and throw an O2 sensor in the thing. Is it possible that it has a bad O2 sensor? 100% possible, just so you know. But if it is, it's not the end of the world. But I don't want to just go into it, replacing it ahead of time type of thing. So we'll throw the machine, let's get the smoke machine. Oh, no, we cannot open there. That's my medicine cabinet. All right, I can't just open that. Yeah, BRB. It was one of those moments where I wish I had the camera on and didn't have the camera on. Freaking Jenga happens. Like, I should have known that it all was gonna fall as soon as I pulled it out. I should have known. Smoking the car basically is just that. Putting smoke into the intake track. Most of the time when people smoke test a car, what they're doing is they're testing for leaks. Whether it's an intake leak, a vacuum leak, a boost leak, a broken line. I mean, it could be anything. And here, I'm not trying to make this a video all about smoke testing. It's just, this is what we're doing on today's adventure, right? This is one of those moments, if you're doing this and you bought one of these machines, tell all your friends that vape to get the heck out of the room or to put their shit away. If you have any smokers in the room, tell them to get out or quit smoking, because it will screw you up. Turn any fans off you have in the room. You don't want them moving air around. Like,
gotta be able to see where it's trailing from.
Yeah.
Have it blowing everywhere.
Yeah. This is kind of a fun tool to use, but it's very, very, that's hot. That is hot.
It's sparking.
Whoa.
Is it just burning stuff on the outside of the door?
I think so, yeah. Right on. All right, well, let's get into it. Let's see if we can find your leak. Camera died right as we got the smoke machine on, so hit the button. Our first leak is over here. Looks like it's coming from the back of the throttle body. Back of, just literally, you got a crappy clamps. That's all. But then there's another leak coming from right here. And it looks like it's coming right out of the side of the valve cover. Like, I'd never seen a cracked valve cover, plastic valve cover, but hey, there's a first time for everything. Like, it's literally right there, dude. You can see it.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. Like, it's a
plug it.
I bet you we could take this cover off here. Let's take this. Let's take this plastic off, pull this portion of the engine harness off, the ignition harness off. Okay. And then we'll get down there and get some eyes on that, because we might be able to JB weld. Yeah,
just call it a day.
Yeah, definitely bleep that one. I wasn't trying to drop the F-bomb. Like, I really wasn't. I was, shit is one thing, a darn, an oh my gosh.
Well deserved when you're speaking about JB Weld, so.
Well deserved when I'm speaking about a BMW.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right, we'll be right back to the show. We'll be that, whatever. GoPro survived UV dye.
It starts giving a little condensation pretty much.
All right, let's see if we can find it. You can see the crack. I mean, it's clear. It's right there. You can see where the moisture is right there. That is that crack. Now, this could happen for a handful of reasons. One, it could happen from, say, maybe a casting, something casted in the other side of it, and that was a weak point. It could be a fracture, it could be thermal cycling. There's a lot of reasons why it happened like it did. You don't got a valve cover handy, do you? Okay, so we're gonna use a JB Weld stick, send it, and it should be okay. As far as that leak over there goes, he's gonna tighten up his hose clamp, and we're gonna test it again. You ready?
Yep.
All right, let's go. So we found another leak. You got that one sealed up. It looks like your line. No clamp on that end.
It's not leaking though.
Yeah, right?
I'm pretty sure I actually used the clamp from there and put it on the other side.
Oh, no. That's a one-time use clamp.
Oh, yeah. That's
yeah, those are POSs. So what you need to do is take that off, do one of these, Yeah, there's your leak, see? And take that thing off, which I can't get off my hand, and we'll replace it with another one.
Okay.
Really easy. And then you rinse and repeat. Figure out where your next leak's coming from. You'd be surprised at how much...
This really helps.
It really does. And even
really
a smoke machine, that's, you know, a smoke machine's where it's at. Like, you can find every leak on your car. If an engine doesn't have like a good sealed system, your car's gonna go crazy because of this little, where'd it go? This thing right here is called a Maf sensor, right? There's elements inside there that heat up and basically do some things, measure some air as air crosses over it. Computer has an algorithm that it figures out, and it says, oh, hey, here's how much air mass you have in the engine. And then there's another part on the car called a leak detection pump. And that thing is constantly monitoring the amount of air and the volume that's in the system and saying, oh, hey, you have a leak because the number should be within this tolerance of whatever X was set by the dealer or the manufacturer. Somebody set a tolerance, and then that thing looks at it and says, oh, it's not when it's being measured. So leaks on a car are important. They're almost as cool as freaking magnets. All right, there you go. So we got a new leak. The valve cover's leaking. Actually, to be specific, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the O-rings that go around the spark plug tubes is what's leaking. And there's nothing we're gonna do about that. Nothing. I mean, we've buttoned up a lot. For the record also, there is a tolerance that you're supposed to set this machine at, and I don't really know, and each one's a little bit different. We had it on full send earlier to identify a lot of leak really fast. He needs valve cover gaskets anyways. Freaking valve cover's cracked. I can only imagine how crappy your valve covers are leaking. Your gaskets are leaking.
Probably pretty awful.
Yeah. Like, have you ever put a valve cover on this?
On this, no.
Okay, so it definitely needs to be done so we can add it to the appropriate portion of maintenance intervals. Yeah, just you know where it's at. Start all over.
Yeah.
Start over. You're not going to get rid of this car anytime soon, are you?
No.
So you might as well start over.
Yeah.
You know? You're good. All right, well, I don't know what we're going to do now. What do you want to do?
Wheel speed sensors, maybe?
Oh, yes. All right. Wheel speed sensor problems. Let's move on to that.
Well, the resistor is actually for the traction control.
Gotcha.
It's the ASC. It was that little...
It's the light on the dash.
Yeah, well, it's not the light on the dash. So that was whenever we did the manifold, we took that little guy off, because that's essentially how the traction control works. It regulates airflow. So we just took that off, but
this is why I don't do BMW things.
We never put a resistor in there. So there's the potential that that's why there's a wheel speed sensor code.
The other thing is we could just have a bad wheel speed.
I hope it's that simple. Really.
The cool thing is with the Verus, we can test the wheel speed, and I'm gonna show you guys how you can do it on like a scan tool that has it and what to look for. It might not you might not have a $10,000 scan tool that's broke, so really it's like $400, but principle still applies. So let's get all this stuff wrapped up over here, and then we need to jack up the back of the car because we're gonna run it on jack stands and do some sketchy stuff. All right. Is your life insurance paid up?
No, and we're not even married, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, perfect. So we're good.
Actually, if I die, Jordan gets the car. He's on the TOD.
Oh, sweet. Jordan, score. Let's put a 2.7 in it.
He doesn't want it.
He'll let me put a 2.7 in it though.
Yeah, he probably will.
Because I'm gonna end up storing it at the farm. The car is jacked up. Whoops. We are going to monitor vehicle speed because for whatever reason, the Verus is not being allowed to communicate to the ABS on the car. And I have zero idea of why it's doing it. So we're gonna see if we can, if the car will even have, I don't even know how many wheel speed sensors this thing has. Like newer car, much newer, nicer cars. I am just ragging on this thing, aren't I?
I want to say 4.
They do. Like newer cars, you can independently know every single wheel. Like you can jump on here and underneath the ABS system, you can jack up a corner and spin the wheel by hand, and if the wheel speed sensor is not working, it's going to be like, no, I'm dead. No, it's not going to register anything. But I vaguely remember an E46 having like 1 wheel speed. I think it's got like vehicle speed in back of the diff. I don't know. If you know E46s, you know BMWs, and you happen to be watching this and the AI got you to get here, after you're done hitting the like button, go down in the comment section and school me on us. I don't work on these things.
I know. I'm no expert. I have an Audi guy helping me out.
It's all right. Hey, it's better than having a... Oh, never mind. I'm not even gonna say it. It might.
What, a BMW tech?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd just be like, he would be the, he would. I feel like BMW guys would talk shit about him like I talk shit about Audis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
That would be entertaining. We need a BMW guy around here, just so we can go at each other, and then have the Mercedes over in the corner with their. They're not allowed.
No, they're in the shed.
Okay. Okay. We kick them. They're in the shed out back. All right, let's get this done. Start it up. Let's see if it does. Go run my car over. Ready? Yeah. Handbrake off? Yep. All right, let it roll. All right, well, sir, your vehicle speed is not moving. Your car is not moving. It's not moving. All right, data doesn't lie. So the car's definitely got an issue someplace. Now we got to get on Google and figure out where that someplace is. I mean, we've used the F-bomb a couple times, but I'm not trying to like actively show that you're smoking a cigarette in the background, but here it is what it is if you do.
Demonetized.
I'm
kidding. No.
I don't think they could demonetize me technically for that.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think it's the same because I'm not smoking, but I read the demonetization bylaws completely through and through.
Like, demonetize you if you were advertising cigarettes?
Yeah, if I was saying, hey kids, you should do this, which I'm not. I'm not. For those of you who are in 2150 who are watching this, back in the mid 1990s, back in the mid 1950s sometime, cigarette brands used to have commercials. Cigarettes were even on race cars. Matter of fact, what cigarettes are a tobacco-filled thing that looked like that supposedly takes 7 minutes off your life every time you smoke one.
Well, and I tell you, to this day, my favorite livery that I've ever seen on the E46 is making it look like a pack of Marlboro Reds.
I know which one you're talking about, and it really does look good.
Cool.
It looks super good. But anyway, we did some Googling, did some little bit of research, found out the thing only has one speed sensor. It's in the pumpkin on the diff. Anyway, we can't fix that tonight, so bro, I'm sorry, but you're on your own. Order a sensor, order a valve cover, and come back and see me. Back in the day, we did this whole ASC delete that Dom needed because we put this big intake on that was sitting in my garage. Correction, it was sitting in my attic covered in bird poop.
But it was the right M50.
Yeah,
it literally was.
It was 100% the right one that he needed. Actually, for reference purposes, that's what we came from. We went from that to that. Like, that's freaking junk. It's good junk, but it's junk. What we need to do now is, because we've already gone this, is we got to take that out. We got a resistor, 10 ohm, 1 watt, and you're gonna need a cutting tool, some cutting tool. I'm gonna go with this one and this one because they're built for speed. You guys want to save a lot of money if you do a lot of soldering? This was my trick. Go to Home Depot plumbing aisle and find lead-free tinning flux. This is a thing. If for whatever reason the Home Depot says, oh, we don't have that, and it's not in that aisle, go over to the tool section. Like usually the second row from the outside, wherever the hammers are. Oh, boogers. Dude, that's into the abyss. Well, either way it works. Get some of this stuff while you're there as well. Whatever, we're gonna get it done. Let's go. Here, if I don't give you value, please, by all means, do not watch this. Hit the dislike button and tell me to pee off because I don't do anything for you. That's great. I appreciate your honesty and we'll part our ways. There's nothing else.
Nothing else to say.
Yeah, but if you are finding value in this, yo, smash that like button, all right? Let's get back to soldering this thing together before this battery dies. Before we go off and heat shrink this down, we're gonna give it a whirl, make sure everything's working right, and broke me. I'm getting my lid back. All right, here's where we're at, guys. We got the resistor in, we got the car cleaned up. Essentially, Dom, you need to fire the thing up now. All right, fire it up and let's see if the wheel speed will move. Throw it in gear, let's see if it moves. So it's still not moving there. Tires are definitely moving. The ASC does not affect the vehicle speed.
Nope, but my ABS light is still on.
Your ABS light is on because the ABS is deactivated, like the button is permanently pushed. So it's constantly telling the ECM to ignore it.
Right.
Is essentially what's going on.
Okay.
So if you want to remove the bulb, which we can do, it won't be on there and annoying you.
Now, does that affect my ability to pass?
No, because ABS is not a primary system.
Okay.
It's just like you don't need an airbag in a car. It's a secondary restraint system. That's why it's called SRS airbag. Your primary restraint system is this harness right here. But you don't need the seat. You can go in and we can take the seat out, put a milk crate there, and as long as you have the seat belt, you pass.
Same way with how my my horn doesn't work. And
yeah, but if you have an air horn in the pocket, you pass.
Yeah, that's what I did, and like they just looked at me and were like, all right.
It's one of those things that if you do it and you have an inspector come in and like you do it and the inspector sees it, it's like, damn, they know somebody. Like it's one of those. Like, I'm sorry, but that's what it is. The ASC is done. Let's see what it does for check engine lights, drive it, put 50 to 100 miles on it, and let's heat shrink that up. We'll close the hood. Guys, I think that's where we're gonna end it. I might sprinkle in a little bit of like montage driving footage because it is slightly snowy outside of him not getting stuck but doing drifty things, maybe?
We'll see.
Maybe? Okay, well, if he doesn't, well, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, guys. If you want to see more content of Dom's E46 and the life that it has within our little heart, here, I might talk shit about it, but these are really good cars. Like, they really are. How much fun they are, what BMW did. This car right here is why a B5 S4 was created. If it wasn't for this chassis, I would not have fallen in love with Audis, all right? I wouldn't have. I would have still been brought home from the hospital in one, but I would never have fallen in love with them. And so, if anything, I'm doing it a favor by keeping it alive.
You're doing me a favor by keeping it alive, because it's keeping me alive. I love this car.
Ah, well then,
So much fun.
that makes me happy because I'm helping my boy. All right, good job. All right, great. Anyway, can you get your shit box out of my garage now? If you want to see more down the road, consider subscribing to the channel. All we do every day is figure out ways to save thousands of dollars working on our German ship boxes, building race cars when we can find time. Learn a thing or two about the internals is how stuff works. So that's stuff you find value in. Consider subscribing. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace. I'm Audi. You want to say bye?
See ya. Till next time.